forms of financing to do. And you often might hear in the market that capital will say they are interested, but there's not enough bankable projects. Projects will say, we have bankable projects, there is not enough capital. And the finger pointing begins, and the only way to resolve it is by breaking that circularity. And one of the most exciting things about the Elektron Power Infracom investment for us, and indeed Victoria Island Power, is that we broke circularity. We were able to create and marry a bankable infrastructure. We were able to create a project, make it bankable, and link it to financing, both the equity risk financing and the debt risk financing. But how were we able to achieve that? We were able to achieve that because of the vision of all the people you have in this room. The vision of EcoDisco, first of all, to desire to shift the status quo in how power was generated and to start thinking about where the solutions lie. And to really be able to be open-minded about the network of agreements that needed to either be established, changed, or adjusted to enable bankability. And we thank you greatly for your flexibility and your vision. In addition, what is in many respects the driver of bankability is that early stage capital that goes into project development. It's the money that pays the lawyers, it pays the consultants, it pays for the environmental impact assessment, etc. And Elektron as a sponsor, with the type of backing it has from its board and its investors, was able to take a lot of that early stage risk that an investor such as ours, we manage pension fund capital. And believe me, no one wants their pension going to that early feasibility study. So we thank you again, the board and the shareholders of Elektron, for your courage and your willingness to take that first step, to put that capital out the door before any of us were at the table, so we had a project to look at. Now, when we came into the project, it didn't look perfect. And a lot of folks in our field talk about screening projects. We don't screen projects. Projects come in and we build the project with you. So when this project came in, it didn't have everything we needed. But the CEO, the CFO, the engineers were open-minded. They were willing to change it, to restructure, to do whatever it would take to take this project to bankability. A lot of times what stops bankability is the inability to be flexible and to almost change the way you started it. And Elektron management team were absolutely willing to make those changes to enable our capital to come in. And I really want to acknowledge you for that level of flexibility, because that's what is required to make projects bankable. And applause for them. Now, when we came in, as I said, we worked very closely on enhancing the documents, changing some of the structures to enable our equity to come in. But our equity is only part of the building block. The building is complete when we have the debt, and of course, the plant is complete when you have the contractors. But we needed the debt providers to also be brave. We needed debt providers at the table, some of these debt providers to be willing to stick their neck out. And I was just extremely impressed and grateful to the financial providers. As you can notice, all the financial providers here are Nigerian. And a lot of the times people say that we as Africans also need to lead. And I can stand up and say that the Nigerian financial sector and the African banking sector has led on this project. And we thank you again for your leadership in this space. Ultimately, what we see here today is a connection between vision, collaboration, and courage. And that's how we're going to build infrastructure in Nigeria. That's how we're going to solve for energy delivery in Nigeria. And I'm really excited that today we have a template and we have no excuse And we're going to have many good years ahead when we're going to have many more groundbreakings and many more commissionings. Congratulations again.
Thank you so very much for those kind words. You know, doing business in this country and I guess this part of the world is very difficult. And it's very difficult because it's difficult to get synergy between lots of partners that need to make significant strides. And what we're hearing this morning about EcoDisco and their availability and willingness to work with Elektron, I think is so commendable that I would like to request another round of applause for EcoDisco and their you know, when you're a pioneer, what they've done today is show that they're a pioneer, and clearly you will find in the next few months many other distribution companies are going to try and do the same thing. But thank you for leading that charge. Please let's put our hands together for them one more time. I'd like to invite the Chief Operating Officer of Elektron, Mr. Jide Onokoya, to also come forward and tell us more about the Wärtsilä team. Those are the ones who are going to put this project on the ground. Please welcome Jide Onokoya.
Good morning, or good afternoon as it is on the stroke. All protocols observed, just like my prior speakers. I'd like to talk about the technology we're using here today, which is Wärtsilä technology, a reciprocating engine, highly efficient. Part of what we've done is ensure through life cycle costs that we're using the best in class for this project. I'd like to recognize the Wärtsilä team with starting with Mr. K.S. Narasimha, who's the business development manager, as well as for the project, as well as the country manager, Mr. Wale Yusuf, who's here with us as well, will help build. I'd like KS to come up and probably give us a few words on the Wärtsilä technology and just tell us a little bit from the Wärtsilä standpoint about the project and their involvement going forward, please. KS.
Thank you, Mr. Jide. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on behalf of the Wärtsilä team here, our heartiest congratulations to Elektron Energy and their partners for reaching an important stage in this trailblazing project. Congratulations once again. We are delighted to be chosen to provide the power generation component for this project together with an LTSA for 5 years. What can I say? Mr. Jide has already said most of the things I wanted to say, but we look forward to contributing our world-class technology and services to making this project a great success. Once again, we are rooting for this project and many more to come in the future. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, the CEO of Wärtsilä, Nigeria. Just before we go to the next thing on our agenda, I'd like to invite, just to say one or two words, because they are here in the building, a few of the sponsors of this project. And the first person I'd like to call would be the CEO of FBN Quest Merchant Bank, none other than Mr. Kayode Akinkugbe. Let's welcome Mr. Kayode Akinkugbe as he comes up on stage.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. All protocols duly observed. I must say that my view is bankers should not really be heard. We should just see the impact of their work in what the promoters do. So I'm going to say from the board and the management, and the Eco Disco team for really helping us, I think, set a template. I always say money goes where it's welcome. And I think this structure, I think Tyria mentioned it, this structure that we've achieved is because everybody was solution oriented. You know, it wasn't about, gosh, we have a problem. You know, it was more, we have a problem, how do we fix it? And really we must commend, if I may say, the infra team, the BOI team, really for, you know, stepping up and providing the liquidity. And also, if I may, you know, myself and my colleagues as well, for being brave, taking on long-term infrastructure projects. As a merchant bank, that's what we're set up to do, but a lot of our funding is very short-term. But in this instance, we just felt we needed to also go with this project. And I think a key thing to say, if I may say, is the people behind it. Because when you're taking lending decisions, it's about the character of the people you're dealing with. What are these people about? And for us, quite frankly, we saw that in Elektron, we saw that in the Eco Disco team. And that made us, you know, that was sort of half the journey completed. Of course, when you add ARM Harris to it, who are the other equity sponsors, that gives you even more confidence. So I think this project has got off to a good start. We certainly hope there'll be more phases, and this is a template, as I said, that I think we should be able to use to grow not only this business, but other such embedded opportunities in Nigeria. So at least we have a lot more light, and we don't have to listen to what we're hearing now, which I think is a generator, probably powered on diesel. So congratulations to the team, and we look forward to working with you on subsequent transactions like this. Thank you all.
For this kind of project, infrastructure generally, gone are the days when power, when they take power, say, hey, NEPA, oh, hey, government. You know? When there is no water, hey, government. When there is no road, hey, government. You know, so time has passed. We just, government alone cannot do it. Our government have realized that, and that is why there are a number of policies, a number of laws, acts that we understand government have signed to open up the sector. So we look forward to seeing many of these projects, and we are determined with the support of our partners like ABN Quest, Infra Credits, who supported us. We would have not, DUI would have not been able to do what we have done, but with the support of our partners, we did it. So this is a project that we must do it, and like we have said, this is the first that has key into the grid. However, we have done some other independent ones that has not been in this structure. But we intend to do as much as we can. With the Wasila, we hope we'll do more. You know, when we are reviewing the document, we saw the Wasila, we saw them in one other transaction. So we want to increase this kind of collaboration. It is only with collaborations and network that we can achieve. Era has gone when you say, I want to do it alone. Doing it alone has been the characteristics of an average, you know, this part of the world. I want to do it alone. That I want to do it alone has passed. You must do it with others. Networking, partnership, that is the way to go. So for us in the Bank of Industry, we are glad, we are happy, we are proud to associate ourselves with this success. This is groundbreaking. We hope to see, I'm sure, my MD will definitely, with life, will be around during the commissioning ceremony, which we hope to see, inshallah. So with this word of mine, I believe okay to say thank you so much, and we are there for you. We are there for everyone. Bank of Industry is so big, so large this time. We have opened up the space. In those days, we only deal with manufacturing industries, but now we have gone into so many other sectors because there is an economic emergency which all of us must come on board to join hands and make this country better, industrially and socially. This energy in particular, we know